Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. We're going to carry on with making the journal. So in the last video we were making the little pockets. So altogether I've made 8. I haven't actually stuck them in, I've just paper clipped them in to where I would like them to be. So here we go. I've just randomly popped them through the journal just in case I want to move them. So I'm going to make a few more things before I actually stick them in. Okay, so I've just added lots of little bits and pieces to them, sewn around the edges. There's another one with a bow, that's the one we did in the last video here. So I've got a few on there. So this time I have been making some paper clips here, which are I'm not going to show you how to do these because I've made very similar ones in previous videos and they're really simple. All as you have to do, you take a piece of card, this is 1 inch wide, and then I've done it roughly, it's about just over 2 inches long, and you just bend it in half. So you measure about 4 inches and then bend it in half, and then what you do, just chop that off like that, and then we can get a paper clip, and you pop a paper clip on one side like so, like that, and then that's just glued together. But first what you need to do is just collage some fabric on the top of it, which is really easy because I have been going through all my fabrics and I have picked out the lovely colour palette which goes perfectly with my journal, with all the pages. If you look at the colours on here, we've got the lovely greens and pinks and purples, so I think it goes really well. And I've also got some of these which are sort of like beautiful, almost like sari fabrics here, in the beiges and the whites, and I think they'll go really well as well. So all as I've done, I've just cut little bits out, stuck them on and collaged it. So I'm going to show you how I do it because this is a belly band that I'll be making as well. So I've made 6 of these, which are really pretty. I really love the way these have come out. So they're lovely, so they can go through the book, through the journal randomly as well. And then again, I've made this belly band, so I'm going to show you how to make this, which is very quick and easy too. And that's one of my little embellishments, the circle. So what we're going to do, we're going to use one of these ones. We're just going to look a little rectangle on there instead of a circle. And then I've made a couple of envelopes, which is just an envelope. Let me just measure the size. Let's have a look. These are just over 3 inches by 4 3/4 inches. So what I've done, I've put one of the journaling cards on there. I've actually cut it down a little bit, sewn around the edge before I stuck it down, and added a little bit of an embellishment there, which is just layering up some fabric. And then on the back I put some cheesecloth and then one of my little fussy cuts on there, and pop that on there. And then what these are going to do, I'll just go into the journal and I'll pop them on the top of the page like that, and then we can have a little paper clip here just to stick it on. So then we've got another little pocket to pop little bits and pieces into, and I've also done another one here like that. I've just layered up some bits of fabric there, and then I've made a couple of ruffles which are somewhere here, like little bits of fabric here which I've just sewn and ruffled up, and they just sit on the back. And then I popped a little bit of cheesecloth and then one of the little pieces of rose trim. Okay, so what we will start off with, I'm going to show you how to make this belly band. So I think these look really nice. I might make some, so this just sits on there like that, so we can just stick down either side. You can pop little bits into there. So I might make a couple which are longer, so they go that way on the page as well. So it's entirely up to you how many you make and how many you put in your journal, but I'm just going to show you how I've made it. Okay, so what we need is a piece of card. This is 1 inch wide, and then what we need to do, I'll just measure it against this one. So measure it against the size of your page. I'm going to cut this and then I will measure it for you to see how long it is. So let's have a look. That is 5.5 inches long, and that fits on the page perfect. Sorry about the mess, I've been making lots of mess today. So what we're going to do, we're going to have this on here like that. I haven't cut all the way around the edges properly because I'm going to pop it into a piece of card to make it, because this is quite flimsy. So I'm just going to glue it onto a piece of card and cut it out just to give it a bit more stability, so it's a bit stronger. So I'm going to just glue it on like that. Stick this onto here like that, and then we can cut it out. Okay, so just cut up right to the edge, and then what I've done, I've actually sewn around it as well, but I'll do that in a minute when I've actually popped some fabric onto the actual belly band. So cut that all off nice and neatly like that, get rid of the little bits and pieces. And then for the belly band, so that will just sit on there like that. So what I'm going to do, that's roughly the middle there, I'm going to just mark down there, just so we know we don't have to fill the whole thing up with fabric. Put my scissors over there. I did have some little pieces here somewhere. So we got some green, there's a little bow, that piece there, that piece there. What else do we need? I'll have a little bit of this lovely purple lace. What other colour? And a little bit of this. So this is as well, you can use all your little leftovers. Oops. So what we shall do, let's just randomly cut some pieces off here like this. So as well, go into your little offcuts if you have any, and then you can take those out and just sew all your little pieces, stick them on, and then just sew around it. Cut these off. Go over that like that. Bit of lace on the top. Maybe a little bit of this sort of bluey purple. Right, that's a little bit of each one on either side. So I'm going to take my glue stick. I'm just going to add it with some of this glue because we're going to sew it. There we go, making a big mess already. So let's just randomly stick them on. Like this. It's a little bit too big. Just add a tiny bit of glue on there, and then that can be stuck down. And then what we will do, we'll just chop off these little bits when we've sewn around it. Excuse me. Right, the other side, I'm going to just pop some glue on there. Get rid of the excess glue because I always make a mess. These down. Oops, that's the wrong piece. Nice big piece of green, that's lovely, isn't it? And then the piece of lace. So, and then that piece will go on there, like that. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to just sew around here. And then I'm going to sew these on here, just sort of random sews, just so that they don't come off. And then I'm going to go all the way around the outside. Okay, so let me just quickly do that. Okay, so I've sewn around those there. Okay, so I'm just going to chop off the excess bits on the side. If you like them hanging off, then just leave them. but I'm going to just cut this down just to make it a little bit tidier, like that. So there we go. So it looks really good, I think, like when they're like all patchworky. And then we just stick that on the top. So what I'm going to do first, just cut that little bit off there. Just pop a little bit of ink around the edges, like that. Just get rid of that sort of white thread that I've sewn with. There we go. And then I'm going to just glue that onto there like that. Okay, here's my, I'm going to use some 3-in-1. Again, use whatever glue you have, whatever glue you like to use, or you can sew it on if you like. So that will go onto there. Just make sure that's sort of level. There we go. Okay. And then what should we have? Have our little bits of rose on here and a little bit of cheesecloth. So I've got a little bit of this, and this can just be stuck on the top. Sticky scissors. I'm going to stick this on with a little bit of glue stick, just like that. And I'll pop a couple of these on. One on that side, and then these on here, like that. Go. Just randomly pop them on there. So wherever, they don't have to be exactly the same either side. Okay, so there we go. Now I've got 2 lovely belly bands, and I think they look so pretty. Like that. And then what we do, I'm going to just put a little bit of stickles on there, so it just makes it a little bit sparkly. But as I said before, I'll do that at the end. When we finish the book, the journal, we can just go round. So I'm going to I will be making some that go down the page, so they will be a little bit longer. So now you know how to make those, which are quite simple. You can make some of those as well. So what I thought I'd do is I'll show you how I did the little envelopes as well. Okay, so let's have a look. Let me find some bits of these journaling cards here, look. So here we go. So what should we use? Shall we use that one? So what I've done, I've got an envelope here, which we measured it, and I've forgotten what size it was. Let me just quickly measure it again for you. So this was 4 3/4 by just over 3, that is. And then what I'm going to do, I'll pop this on here. I think I'll have it, I want to get that butterfly in. So what I'm going to do is have it this way, I think. My pencil, I'm going to just mark that just there, and then mark that just there. And then we'll just cut this to size. Cut that off. It doesn't look very level there. That's better. Right, so that will go on there like so. So that fits lovely. And then what I've done, I've actually gone round it with a sewing machine as well. So what we want to do, let me just ink this, just to match in with the rest of them. I'm using the vintage photo, as always. Just ink the edges up a little bit. So again, you can make as many little envelopes as you like to pop in there. So this is just giving you ideas of sort of bits to put in your journal. Obviously you don't have to do them if you don't want to, but it's just ideas for you. Oops, let's just ink this as well. So that will stick onto there. So what we want to do is just add a little bit of embellishment on here. So again, I'm going to use some cheesecloth. So let's pop a little bit of glue on there. Just like that. And then what have we got? We have a little bit of lace. Got that there. We've got a little bit of this green. Just go like that. Let's have a little bit. This is sort of almost like sort of, quite sure, so like a bit of a netting sort of thing. Just go on there like that. I do like this, though. This is really pretty. Got like tiny little knots there. Cut that little bit off. That can just sort of stick on top. Okay, let's do a little bit of gluing. I'm going to stick it down just with a glue stick because I want to sew it so it stays. Just sew it along the top. But again, if you're not going to sew, just use a glue that you know that's going to stick it properly. Something like Fabri-Tac or 3-in-1 glue. Okay, oopsie daisy. Stick that down like that. Nope, not going to stick. Dear. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave that and I will sew that on so it stays on. Right, I'm just going to go and sew around the outside and across the top there. Okay, there we go. So I've just sewn that across there. So let's just ink that a little bit around the edges. Like this. I think I might just stick. Needs a little bit of something to brighten it up. Where's my little pink one? I've got a little bit of pink here somewhere. If I can find it. I've got such a mess here today. No, it's disappeared. Well, let's stick it on here first and then I will find that. So I'm going to stick that on top there. I'm just going to use some glue stick in the middle like that. And then I'm going to use a 3-in-1 just around the outside. I can get it out. There we go. Sure that's the right way round. Pop that onto there. Perfect. Okay, what we'll have to do, I don't know what I've done with that pink. Disappeared. It's just disappeared. What can I put on top? Here it is. I stood it up. Maybe we could have a little bit of that on top. Let's cut these off. gloopy glue. It just oozes out the top, doesn't it? It makes a nice big mess. So there we go. Okay, so that looks quite nice, doesn't it? So what shall we have? We need to do this little bit here, don't we? Put the lid on so we don't ooze everywhere. Ink this a little bit. And let's have some cheesecloth. Gosh, I don't know what I would do without cheesecloth now. Put that onto here. Maybe have one of the little butterflies popped on there. Yes, that looks quite nice, doesn't it? Okay, perfect. So there we go, there's another little envelope to go in the journal. So that's really pretty. So now we have 2 belly bands, which I'm going to make a couple more of those to go in there. I'll probably make a couple more envelopes as well, because I want to put these can go in the pockets too. So we've got those, and then we've got all of these little paper clips. So again, do exactly the same as I did on here, just sort of like collage some fabric on there and sew around it, and then you come out with a paper clip. So that's really simple way of doing some quite effective paper clips. So they're really pretty. So we've got a few more bits to go in the journal. So let's have a look. Pop that to the side. What we need to do then, we've got some of these, look, they just clip on lovely, and we just have something that just slips up in between. I won't put them on there like this, but just to give you an idea of what it looks like. Let's have a paper clip that goes on there like that. I think this looks really pretty on the back. And we've got another little pocket there, so these can fit in there as well, which look really nice. And then we've got the lovely belly band that will just stick on there. We'll stick this down and just stick it either side there. So that looks nice, and then you just have something that just slips in between it. So there we go, guys. There's another few things that you can get on with to do. So I will probably do a few more of the envelopes and a couple of the long ones, so they go this way. So what I'll do is I'll get one of these and put it that way. So I think that looks really pretty. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do, and I will see you in my next video. Alright guys, take care, bye bye.